Yesterday, Purplepingers got a request by Sky News to go on the program, and he denied it in a very long essay explaining why. Earlier this week, we did a video on the far right.
Shut up, Mimsy!
So I thought it'd only be fair if we talked about the far left. In today's video, we're going to dissect a clip of Purplepingers from the last time that he was on Sky News and go into why he probably doesn't want to go back on. Hello, I'm Mitch. If you're new around here, I did a stream yesterday talking about Purplepingers, and this is from that stream. It's not just a straight excerpt, so it's not going to be one of those clips where it's like, oh, there's him talking to chat again. No, all that's cut out. This is just treat this like you would with any other video. Also, there's a rally on next weekend that I'll be at covering with minimal commentary so that you can watch it and judge for yourself. That's on September 13th, and I'm going to be streaming from around 12:15. But anyway, on with the video. Purplepingers is a guy, he makes these videos that I really enjoy, right? He made these TikToks and Twitter videos where he'd go over real estate listings of rentals, and they were called like shit rentals or something.org. I think he made a website.
Hello, welcome back to Shit Rentals with your host, Purplepingers.
Today we've got this, and like, oh my god, the kitchen's on fire.
If you could get through the annoying voice, great videos. I love him. I still love them. He doesn't make them as often anymore, because since then he turned to politics. I think it's Socialist Victoria he joined, and he ran for the Senate in the federal election this year. Didn't get elected, so we're stuck with him on Twitter. He tweeted this today: fascism is not to be debated. So he got invited onto Sky News to talk about the protests that were on last weekend. Hey Jordan Blank from Sky here. I hope you're well. We've got a debate we want to do on Freya's show tomorrow. Freya's a host on Sky News about immigration and the recent rallies and rhetoric coming out of that issue. Wonder if you be keen to participate. Would be at 3 p.m. pre-recorded for about 10 minutes. Let us know. Should I read this in his voice?
Hey, I'm not interested in debating the Nazi March for being an accessory to Freya ventilating their talking points on Sky News, particularly after seeing the march on Sunday, their racist chants, speeches, and indiscriminate attacks on migrants and First Nations people in the city. I'm concerned about the role that Sky has been played in building support for the march and its racism over the last month, and I feel like if Freya is looking for someone to debate the merits of fascism with,
Dude, it's called a full stop! Use it!
she should probably reach out to some of the spineless men like Albanese who reckon fascism can be both sides, said. Perhaps might even be reaching out to Susan Lee, which is somehow to the left of Albo when it comes to racism.
What's really odd about these people that wave the Palestine flag is that they don't like Israel, they don't like the Jews, but they also don't like the Nazis. So it's like this epic three-way of ideologies just fighting each other. And it's like, you know, you guys have some things in common with the Nazis. You both don't like Jews. So he's rejected to go on Sky. And I thought, hang on, hasn't he been on there before? And I looked it up. And I thought he'd been on there twice because I found 2 clips. But no, these were from the same day. So he's done, but he was by himself. He wasn't debating anybody. So it would seem that perhaps he's a bit scared to have someone throw shit back at him. So I've loaded these up and I thought maybe let's watch them and have a laugh.
You tweeted on X that how about we unrecognize Israel? Isn't that a little bit unfair, given Israel is the only homeland of the Jewish people and history has taught us what happens when they don't have a state? Do you truly believe Israel shouldn't exist at all?
Well, I think no state has a right to exist.
So does that mean that Palestine doesn't have the right to exist? That place that you've been protesting for to have the right to exist? Holy, shoot yourself in the foot, Batman.
Do you think having Hamas running Gaza will help the Palestinian people?
Well, I don't think that's relevant to the people that are being killed by the state of Israel. Like, I don't think who runs the people being killed is the relevant question.
This is amazing to watch because it's like watching, it'd be like watching myself go on Sky if I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on Sky and pretend I'm really smart. And then you just see him just get absolutely demolished by someone not as smart as him.
But why did this war start?
Why do you think it started?
Because
And he's not even answering her questions. He's just throwing back like random rhetorical questions.
The IDF killed a significantly higher proportion of Israeli civilians than Hamas did on October 7. That's incontroversial.
that is so false. Let me ask you.
Incontroversial. God damn it! God damn it, Pingers, you're gonna have to make me fucking Google a word now.
Incontroversial.
What does that mean? Why do you people have to use big word that don't make sense when little word do trick? I can't even spell it. Incontroversial. Is that a word? Incontroversial is the title. Incontroversial is the title of an Indian podcast hosted by Pooja Kodri. Okay. So that's not a word. I think he means incontrovertible. Undisputable, same thing. It's not a word. No, I think he meant incontrovertible. And I haven't looked that one up. I heard it one time on Harry Potter when they were like, Voldemort's back. And, oh no, they were like, Voldemort's not back. And Dumbledore's like, oh, the evidence of Voldemort being back is incontrovertible. See, I'm starting to figure out in just 2 minutes out of 11 why he's not going back onto Sky News by choice.
Let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with Nelson Mandela?
Of course.
Oh no.
Okay, well,
no.
I'm going to use his words to kind of answer your question here. But Nelson Mandela said, and this is true, that if you have a problem with the means, so the means that the oppressed use to resist their oppressor, they're determined by the oppressor. So if you have a problem with the means used to resist the oppressor, then you should condemn and you should criticize the oppressor for getting rid of all means of resistance except violence. That's the only means that the Palestinians have to resist their genocidal oppressors. And if you have a problem with that, then your condemnation should lie with the oppressor.
Okay, he just used some big wordy words there, but I think basically what he meant was, if you're being oppressed, then you should tell off your oppressor. Pingers, if you're a dumb fuck like me, it's totally cool to lean into that and just be like, you know what, bro, I don't know.
Hamas has literally offered at least 4 times to
He thinks he's winning.
return all of the hostages, and Israel has said no every single time.
That is plainly
this is like
false.
this is
Hamas is
counterfactual. I don't know where you're
uncompromising.
getting.
God damn it, Pingers! You're making up more words again, aren't you? I'm gonna fucking fact check you because I got Google sitting in front of me. And as a matter of fact, you had Google sitting in front of you too, right there while you're on Sky News, and you never bothered to fucking use it. If you knew you were going to be quoting Nelson Mandela there when you went in because that sounded very pre-scripted in your head at least. But you just couldn't be bothered to just put it on the screen in front of you and then read from it. Fuck! What did he say?
Counterfactual.
Is this a word? Counterfactual. Okay, it is, yes. You don't have to make a general conversation or a debate sound like a fucking essay that you've got to meet the minimum word count on. But wait, there's more! That must have been the second part. Oh, this one's my favorite. Housing market. Yes, because remember, this is what he got popular on the internet for, was making these shitty rentals clips. Surely he knows what he's talking about this time.
Socialists are strange. They go to
End scene. End scene. That's it. That's all you need to say. Socialists are weird. All right, cut to commercial. Go.
Jordan, you make videos about bad rental properties, things like kitchens being unfinished or bathrooms in poor conditions, even apartments in people's garages. But isn't that just the free market at work? No one is forcing anyone to rent these properties.
Okay. Straight. All right. I'm on his side now. Fuck her. Fuck her. Nobody's forcing anybody. Bitch, if you tried to rent lately, it's fucking shit.
Yeah, it's the free market at work, which is why it needs to be destroyed.
Right. So if you eliminated private rental properties, how would anyone rent at all?
Well, those properties wouldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't just disappear. We could just live in them. That's how it should work.
No, except it doesn't work like that because a lot of people, I don't know about down here in Melbourne, but in Sydney, there was, I used to read that a lot of properties in like the new developments or whatever, like 6 months later or something, or years, whatever, weren't actually being lived in well after completion, and they got this from the like water usage and electricity usage, like didn't match the levels that it should be used at for that area for how many dwellings were in there. So people were just buying them, investors, and then not renting them out because it made more sense to them to not having anyone live in there and have them go through wear and tear. Wow, Mitch can read. Yes.
Yes,
And then-
slash the bosses in construction and let us build stuff. Absolutely. Let the workers earn more for the work that they're doing and get rid of the bosses. 100%.
So who would be building stuff then?
Not him. And to be fair, not me either. But he said get rid of the bosses and then pay the workers more. But wouldn't that then just level it out to the way it was before? And then workers making more money is a good thing, but if you're gonna, it'll cancel each other out, wouldn't it?
It's not the over-regulation of the construction industry. It's the over-representation of bureaucrats in the construction industry. Bureaucrats, as well as...
Please, honey, ask him what a bureaucrat is. Because I don't know what he means by that, and I would be curious to know. That's what I'd be asking. And I would just love to see him fumble that.
Bosses. Get rid of the bosses.
But without the bosses, nothing gets built.
That's what I was about to say. Without someone steering the ship, how do we know which direction this ship's going?
That's not correct.
At any time he gets pulled up on something, he can't counter. That's not. Oh, you're not correct. Oh, well, actually, you heard of Nelson Mandela? He said words one time, and they were big words, and that means he's smart. And I'm gonna try and quote it. Oh shit! I don't remember what he said.
It's just not correct.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. But anyway, let's move.
The Opera House, the Sydney Opera House was completed under workers' control. Like no bosses. They literally kicked the bosses off-site.
Again, you are yet to give an example of any country.
Is he confusing? Is he getting confused in that they were like, hang on, we've got the plans. Like, there's still a boss. It's just they don't need to be on site looking over our shoulder all of the time. You know? There was still a boss that was looking after it, but they just, like when you work in an office, like I'm sure he has, and only ever, you don't always have the boss in the room looking over your shoulder. However, there is a boss. There's a boss steering the ship.
In the world.
And I think he's probably heard that they told the boss to leave the site and then they carried on. That doesn't mean they fired the boss.
Where socialism has actually worked.
There's an example.
Maybe you could do it for one building, but
It was probably a good idea that he didn't go back on there to actually debate another person, because he got steamrolled just by the fucking by not even their most popular host. Could you imagine if that was Andrew Bolt? Anyway, if Sky News ever invited me to go on, I would jump at the chance just so I can make sure my dad loves me again, because he would love that. I mean, what he's saying isn't wrong. Like saying, oh, I want to live in a nice house, and I don't want it to fall down, and I want it to be affordable. Those are all great things that we can all agree on. It's just when he says, oh, no, we need to get rid of entirely the market. Oh, we can just live wherever we want. It's like, yeah, I mean, there's only so many places in Bondi you can live.